Sometimes you're sick, you don't go to work. If you used up your sick days, you don't get paid. But if you did, if you do have sick days, then you're fine. Mental health. That nonsense the last several days where people are posting, I'm just, I'm checking in and, I haven't been on stream in a while. I just want to update about my mental health. No. You know what's damaging my mental health is all these people posting about their mental health.
Right.
No one cares. And I hate saying it in the context of I don't care. No, I do want to say that in the context of that I don't care. I hate saying in the context of people shouldn't be doing that. Look, I know some people are at the end of their rope or don't have anybody else to talk to, so they put it out there, and I get that. But it's so in vogue. It's almost like a requirement for people online to have to post about mental health issues and tips and self-love and all this other shit, and you're just like, don't need to post that on the internet. You really don't. And then they get upset when nobody responds, or they get a like, and they don't understand. Like, why? I see other people posting there, and they're getting millions of people saying, "Oh, you're gonna be okay. Oh, you can do it. Just keep it up. I'm around anytime if you need to talk." And that's great. If you have somebody in your life that can do that for you, fantastic. Talk to them. But you don't need to keep putting videos out there talking about my mental health is bad, and I need to I don't know how to deal with this, and I'm the holidays, it's just I'm in a bad place mental health wise, or I need a vacation. It's like all that shit. No one cares.
I think what's really going to mess them up is this new thing that they added to Twitter.
Yes.
Where you could see your views, but you don't get the same amount of likes. Right. So people are going to start freaking out and be like, oh, people see my videos. They just don't care about me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What is your view counter?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see where the Twitter thing is. I thought it had a special name, but maybe it's just it's Twitter views. That's all they call it.
Twitter views.
Times this tweet was seen on Twitter. It can take a few minutes for the view count to appear. Oh, right. Well, I only have like 2 views, so maybe it's going to take a little while. When did I post this? 3 days ago. Oh, fuck. No one cares about my mental health situation.
The opposite is going to be where it's like people, like I've seen like 1,000 people view my stuff, but I have 2 likes.
Yeah.
So like no one cares enough to like me. So their metric of how they feel about what they've posted is now changing, where it's like, do you care that people saw it and it got out there, or do you still need the extra little push? So that's just going to mess people up.
Let's go back to what you first said with this. What if you go the other way and you go and look, and it's like, holy shit, 1,745 views and nobody commented or liked on it. Like, so that means a lot of people saw it and don't give a shit about your mental health.
Exactly.
Look, you got to tread lightly with this stuff because, look, I get it especially when you're working with a corporation and stuff. You can only go so far with the ranting. It's not like we're saying, do something terrible or there's no place you can go to get help. There's all that stuff that's out there. What I am saying is that it's so in vogue, it doesn't need to be part of your uniform, your daily uniform, to be you, to complain or to be upset about your mental health condition. Everybody has issues. Everybody has problems. And then, you know what? A lot of people are okay. Some people can deal with the slightest inconvenience. Some people can deal with major catastrophes better than others. People will deal with it. There are places to go if you can't deal with it and you need some help. Totally understandable. Nobody's knocking like a grief counselor or therapist or any of that kind of shit. But when you make it your identity, that's where the problem lies with people in there. When they said, hey guys, I haven't checked in a while. I had a bad few days. And then they got to go into depth about, look, I had to turn the lights off and I was laying down and, and then I got to do this and, I just couldn't get out of bed. And okay, when I feel like I have to have the lights off and I can't get out of bed? If I had the flu. If I was really sick, it's like, dude, the flu kicked my ass this weekend, so I just stayed in bed. I had the lights off. I plowed through it, and then what happens? 3 days, maybe a week, depending how bad it is. Now you're back up and running. You're doing your work, your hobbies, you get your kids' stuff, whatever you got to do. People have that, but not because you just, it's like, I couldn't cope with today. I couldn't deal with today. I just, I looked at the world and I just go, I just can't get out of bed today thinking about all this. You know what? Everybody else is with all this stuff that you think is an atrocity. Everyone else is getting up out of bed and doing what they have to do. Maybe I didn't have to work today. So I didn't get up. I got out of bed, but I didn't sit there and like, I got to go to work. I got to plow through it. I was off today. Fortunate, yes. That's why this stream is titled First World Problems, because I have some issues coming up. But it's just, come on. Everybody who's putting out there, if you can tell, if you look at people's social media, their YouTubes, their TikToks, any of that stuff that they post, you can tell when there's people that have some issues and they don't know what to do, so they put it out there trying to find a group or like-minded people of other people who've been through it. You can tell. For the most part, you can tell when somebody is being honest and being real about what their issue is. Right. A lot of the times, it's all bullshit. It's all to be. Oh, I have problems too, guys. Don't. Let's all talk about our mental health issues. Another case in point: the last Saturday Night Live before Christmas, for the ending of the year, right?
Right.
They did a Christmas bit, and Bowen Yang. You know who he is? He's the Asian guy, right? There. He's annoying as hell. He's not funny. That's it. I don't care about his race, his sexuality, any of that shit. Doesn't matter. He's just not funny, and he's annoying. He did a bit, and he's done several bits where he's like, my mental health's not the best today. He works that into the script of any of his lines. Not every single time, but there are plenty of different skits that he's on there. If he's doing a panel character on Weekend Update or a part of the cold open or something like that, he's worked it in enough that if you look back at the past 2 years, 3 years that he's been on, he brings this up. And it's these people that like to come online and be so super whatever direction you lean in, when you're going to be so hard on this and you're so vicious and so strict because these are human rights and this is not debatable and this is all this stuff, and they go real hardcore, but then they're the first people to be so fragile and fall apart at the slightest thing. An election's coming up, they fucking go into convulsions and in the fetal position, and then the next day if their team went, now they're back online telling everybody what they should and shouldn't do. Nobody gives a shit about you at that point because they see through you that you're a fucking phony. The mental health issues, there are people who have it, and there are people who do need help and do need not sympathy, but compassion in a little bit because they're going through something. There's so many more people using that face guard, that cosplay of mental health, that are just doing it to try to get any kind of attention or to get a bubble around them, a yes bubble all around that. And I saw so much of this shit, and a lot of it wasn't even people that I followed. It was Instagram does this thing now that you're going through your timeline and you see this video and like, wait, do I follow this account? And you go up and it said suggested account now. There's like every 3 to 6 windows that you scroll past, there's a suggested account. And I've seen this shit, and especially TikTok. If you go to TikTok, it doesn't go automatically to the people you follow. It goes to whatever they think is the main timeline that they want to put out there. And it's people race baiting. It's people dancing with their kids, which is just as bad as race baiting. And there's the people out there that are having the mental health issues, or they're sitting there doing like this, where they're telling you about, and they point to shit like here. They go, da-da, oh,
I've
like
seen
that,
those.
where they're pointing to their little graphics to tell you, like, I'm telling you, I'm educating people, and you just go, I want to ban your account so bad. I don't know how I'm going to find something that I can report you for, and then hopefully that account gets banned just because you're so terrible at being a human being. But anyway, stop with the fucking mental. Maybe you do, and maybe you're over exaggerating it. But that over-exaggeration comes off as being insincere and phony. You got to stop. This isn't even why we came on here today. This just was now a side product that I needed to go off on.
Well, I think the problem with Bowen Yang is that he's using it the wrong way. Like, Pete Davidson had mental issues, and he always worked it in such a great way that it was a punchline, but it was still serious.
He was a bit self-deprecating, but he was also, here's the thing, he's also a comedian. Whether you like him or not, you think he's a comic or not, whatever. He's a comedian. He's been doing it long enough. He's a comic.
Right.
So he's doing it in a way a comic normally knows how to do it. Self-deprecating, tell a story, involve whatever. Bowen Yang is not a stand-up. He's a you can't call him those terms anymore, but he's a theater guy. And they're the ones that are always so over-emotional.
He's a thespian.
He's a thespian. Thank you. They're the ones that are always so over-emotional, so delicate, and so elaborate and all that stuff. And then they fold. I'm going to coin this phrase here, like a cheap suit. They fold like a cheap suit. They crash like a deck of cards. If you look at them the wrong way, or if the slightest thing doesn't go their way, they're mentally distraught and devastated. But then they're also the same assholes that are online like, oh, did you see this new trailer for a show that no one gives a shit about? It's like, is anybody else screaming? No, nobody's screaming. Nobody gives a shit. Get over yourself. Calm the fuck down.
They're the same people that freak out on store clerks that screw them up for the day.
I'm getting to that, and thank you very much. You're trying to get me back on the right path.
I'm trying.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Frankie Bronson in the chat. I am the hero that nobody wants me as a hero. I do appreciate that. Not Uncle Phil, because mental health has always been taboo. It hasn't and hasn't. There are plenty of people that go through. If I hear everybody, they don't call it. They still call it PTSD. It used to be shell shock, the post-traumatic stress disorder, but that was for people in the military. That was for people that maybe your house blew up and you were the only one who crawled to safety and you lost your entire family. Like, something extreme was labeled PTSD. Now everyone is ADD. What's the other one? The other 3-letter one, where you constantly have to do the same thing over and over. The one Stuttering John always fakes.
I know what you're talking about. It'll come to me in a second. Right?
Yeah. Anyway, like Mark Summers, the host of Double Dare. Remember he told that story where his OCD, thank you, his OCD got so bad that he was counting individual threads in the carpet just to make sure it was the same amount that he counted yesterday. Like, he got that
or
bad.
Flicking your light switches or washing your hands excessively.
Right. They're on that. They're on prescription stuff. They don't know how to cope, don't know how to handle. We've all gone through shit. I don't know what happened. And I'm not saying that everybody is wrong on this. Most of them are, but not everybody's wrong. I've had bad days. I've had really bad days. This past year, I've lost people. I've lost people in my family this year, and it's been a terrible fucking year. But I didn't, I shut down for a while. I took time off. I had to do what I have to do. I'm still dealing with it, and it's going to be a while before all that is gone.
Right.
But I'm not online crying about it. I'm not online sitting there, guys, I don't know how to cope, or I don't know how to do this. And I'm not using it for attention. Maybe, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe doing the shows like this and Would You Kindly and going on other people's podcasts, maybe that's the therapy I have. Maybe it is for what we do. But I've never thought to the point where I can't function for the day. I can't do this. I can't do that. It's somebody else's fault. I don't get that. And it's gone past the point of me just not understanding it. When I see it online, you go, you're a fucking phony. You're doing this for, as the kids call, the clout. You're doing for that. You're doing it for attention. You're doing it for whatever reason to trend and go popular. And you think that's going to make life okay. And it doesn't. They get upset when they don't have a certain follow account, a certain subscriber account, certain whatever. They don't think, well, I need to work harder or maybe change my image a little bit or maybe come up with some new content. It's, I don't get it. I just wanted 100,000 followers so I could do this because this is all I ever wanted to do in my life. Look, I wanted to do radio all my life and I wanted to do television all my life. Now that has evolved. It involves streaming on the internet and other digital content and doing all this other shit. So I can't just say I do radio anymore. I do a bunch of different things, but it's come along the timeline for that.
Right.
I didn't wake up and just said, oh my God, I'm not syndicated nationally on the radio in the 1995, 96. I don't know how I can function. This is all I ever wanted to do in my life. I wanted to build to that goal. And in a way, I kind of got there, with Opie and Anthony and stuff. But it didn't mean my life was fucking over because I didn't do it individually. At the time that I said, I'm going to do radio now, and I didn't get there immediately, doesn't mean life is over and I can't function as a human being anymore. This is definitely a therapy session. I don't know why this all came out. This was not why we were coming on here to talk about this, but I'm glad I got this out there and put that on there. I'm tired of the mental illness woes. I really am. There's legitimate people out there with legitimate issues, but a lot of you are fucking faking it and doing it for attention, and you need to stop. I'm sure that'll get kicked off.
Weirdest intervention I've ever had, but okay, I'll take it to heart.